Sometimes when I was lying in bed, I used to think to myself, wouldn't it be nice if I was a girl and not a boy? If you think about it, it seems like life would be a lot easier if I was just a girl. Since about the age of 17 or 18 until my mid-20s, I used to have this obsession with looking as feminine as I possibly could. I would grow my hair out, I would pluck my eyebrows, I would bite my lips so they would go red so it looked like I had plumper, juicy lips. And sometimes when I was outside in public back home in England, for example, if I went to the post office or when I was working at the petrol station, sometimes people would get confused and they would address me as a woman. They would call me things like dear or miss or honey, and you might think I'd be annoyed with that since I'm not a girl, but actually I kind of took it as a compliment and I felt happy that they thought I looked feminine. I also had this idea, this image of a perfect girl, the kind of girl that I would find really attractive, the kind of girl that I would like to be boyfriend and girlfriends with, and I always found it difficult finding these kind of girls. And then I found it even more difficult getting those kind of girls to actually be interested in me. So I thought, well, that's pretty difficult trying to get my ideal type to feel attracted to me as I'm attracted to them. So my backup plan was, why don't I just try and become my ideal type? So that way I could just look in the mirror and look at myself and I wouldn't have to have a girlfriend that is my ideal type. I could just become my ideal type. I remember there was this one day a few years ago, 2017, when I decided to buy some wigs off of eBay or Amazon. And this was the first time I ever wore a wig. And surprisingly, I really liked it. It really brought out my feminine side. And I ended up buying several more wigs and had quite a lot of fun with them on a live stream. Don't know if anyone remembers that. And I also always felt kind of uncomfortable expressing my masculine side. I always hated the idea of having a beard or a mustache, and I used to pluck out every single little chin hair that was on my chin. Up until recently, I used to do that, but recently I don't know what's happened to my body, but I'm getting way more chin hairs. Too many that I could pluck out, so I have to use an electric shaver now to manage my facial hair. I always had difficulties with embracing my masculine side. For example, cutting my hair short was always something I was really scared of, and I think right now my hair is the shortest it's ever been since I was about 12 years old. The idea of shaving my head is really terrifying. The idea of having a beard or mustache grosses me out. The idea of getting ripped and muscular I guess the idea of appearing more masculine just has never really interested me much. When I think about it, it just seems as though being a girl or being a woman is much better than being a man. For example, the men always have to do all of the hardest jobs. All of the most dangerous, the most disgusting jobs, the most risky jobs have always been done by men. Getting sent off to war, cleaning the sewers, climbing up really high electricity towers to fix cables. Most of those jobs, 99.9% of the time, were done by men. I am so happy that I never had to be sent off to war. So when it comes to relationships and dating, I feel like it's a lot harder for the man. The man is just expected to do pretty much everything. Driving the car, building the house, earning the bread, putting money on the table, providing physical protection against the dangers of the world, going out there hunting. There's just so many things that the man is expected to do, and if he's incapable of doing so, number one, he probably will find it difficult finding a female partner, and number two, he'll just be laughed at by society. Society will say things like, he's not a proper man, he needs to man up, and he needs to learn to drive, and he needs to do this and that. I just feel like compared to women, men are just under so much more pressure from society to be a certain way. Even when it comes to dating, the man is supposed to do everything. The man is supposed to walk up to the girl and approach her and make the first move, and then the man is expected to buy her a drink, and then the man is expected to pull out her seat and open the door and drive her home and pay for the meal and do everything. And all she has to do is sit there and smile and seem interested in you. If I was a woman and I'm looking for a relationship, all I have to do is go onto Tinder, and straight away in the first day, I'll get 5,000 matches. And I know this for a fact because last year I was planning a video where I would pretend to be one of my ex-girlfriends on Tinder, and I made a fake profile pretending to be one of my exes, and in the first day I got 5,000 matches. As a guy, in a week I wouldn't even get 20 matches. In a week, I'd probably get about 7 or 8 matches, and then half of them would unmatch me, and then the other half wouldn't even want to meet me. Also, girls have just a much bigger choice. They have more choice when it comes to what kind of clothing they can wear. If a woman wears trousers or jeans, it's completely fine. It looks normal. But if a man wants to wear a skirt or stockings, he looks like a twat. Women can wear pretty much anything they want and people won't ridicule them. They can dress cutesy and colourful and have pigtails and Pikachu shirts, and no one would really bat an eye. But if a guy did that, they would think he's a complete twat. And then there's other things, like in Japan they have the female-only carriage. What about the men-only carriage? We don't get a special men-only carriage when the women do. And then on the Titanic movie, they only let the women and the children onto the lifeboats. They wouldn't even let the men onto the lifeboats because the women and the children are more important. Surely man and woman is more important than woman and child, because the man plus woman could make more babies. A woman and the child, well, technically they could make more babies, but it's kind of weird, isn't it? Also, women live longer and they have less disease, and they usually don't smell like men do, and they usually look more attractive than men do. I just feel like life would be way easier if you were a girl, and you could make money so much more easily than a man could if you were using things like OnlyFans, or if you were just live streaming. As a man who does OnlyFans, I feel like I'm doing fairly okay, not too bad, but if I was a woman, I think I'd be doing 10 times better on OnlyFans. Give it a quick wash. Don't really need to wash it much, it's not very important. And put some water, like this. And then we just put it on the fire. Where is it? Here. And then we just wait for it to start bubbling a little bit, and then we put our cloth and the lid. Where's the lid? I'll put it somewhere. I think it's in here. Yes. So you want to wrap the lid in the cloth like this so the steam doesn't get out, and then we can steam the rice in the pot. So wrap it round like this, and we just have to wait for the rice to start bubbling, and I'll show you what I have for dinner. I've got these, I have 4 hamburger burgers for $2.99, so pretty cheap. It's about maybe $1 for one patty. I think I'll have 2. And I'll just stir fry some of these vegetables that I prepared earlier on yesterday's live stream. Always good to have your vegetables prepared like this. Okay, let's check the rice. Give it a bit of a stir to move it around. So the rice has finished cooking, as you can see. Not too wet, not too dry. Stuck together. Oh no. I can't get it off. Why is it stuck? Oh. Easy. Oh shit. That's wrong one. Burger. For dinner. And that is how you make my famous beef burger broccoli stir fry with rice recipe. Pretty simple, but pretty filling and pretty good.